Hey, live. I'm back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Back to Living in My Truth with drug and alcohol addiction. Okay? I have with me a special guest as well as a friend, a very deep, good friend, sister friend, Miss Angela McKinney. And she's
Hello,
on to share her story and offer you more information and education, you know, about this vicious disease as well. Angie is a person that can come on here and speak, you know, about family members that she loved very much that was trapped in this awful sickness. She's going to tell you a little bit too also about that journey. And at the end of this segment today, guys, I figured out what Q&A meant. I told y'all I don't know half the techie stuff about this thing, but I found out it was questions and answers, duh. So before we close out today, I'm going to give a little time for some questions so that I can answer them, or we can answer them the best to our knowledge that we can. Again, don't forget, I'm not a doctor, lawyer, or Indian chief. I'm just a grateful recovering addict who's offering you information and education about this disease and how to live with this disease in a beautiful life and lifestyle. Hey, Kelly. So we're going to start with the fourth step. This step is a powerful step. And this is the step that I am still on after 30-something years of recovery. Anisha, come here. I stay here on this step because this is something that we always need to do as addicts and as recovering addicts. Even though we don't use, that doesn't mean we don't follow the steps or we don't, you know, go by the rules of the step. These steps are very important. They're just like medication. This is our medication. We can always go to this and we can always read and we can always, you know, find out even more every time you go to these steps and read them. It's like after all these 30-something years, I still go to these steps and it's like I missed something. You know, like I missed a word or something. You know, I missed a whole sentence or something because my mind be focused on, you know, what I'm in here looking for, basically. And then, boop, something pop up and be like, wow, I didn't even know that was in there.
It catches you.
Yeah.
You can resort back to it.
Exactly.
And go over time after time after time after time. You know, you can always relate back to that step.
Absolutely.
A lot of people get stuck on that fourth step.
Oh, well, I have to stay here because I'm not perfect. You know, I'm just a recovering addict, you know, living with this disease. You know, my disease is not in function, but it's still in me, and it will always be. And this is what I mean by that. It never goes away, y'all. It'll always be within you because it is us. You know, it is our subconscious mind. It is us who did what we done. It was us who made our choices and decisions. You know what I mean? And these 12 steps, our medication, is just is 12 steps to follow to find a higher power, take inventory, get honest, you know what I mean, surrender, you know, all the steps of getting you back into your emotional tech in life and come to believe that these steps are putting you back where you need to be, far as non-using. But I don't want anybody to forget, because we stopped using drugs does not mean we're cured. That's a part of the sickness, which created the mental and destroyed the emotional part of us. You know, but once we take the puzzle, this is the puzzle. These steps are the puzzles you know, and we just have to put the pieces back in place until it becomes the puzzle again. So right now they're all broken up, you know. It's like I was saying, you know, the matrix is all about that matrix thing and the pieces we trying to find. Well, this is the direction to learn how to get the pieces. So step 4, I'm going to read it as I do every week. I'm going to always read the original and what taught me. It says, we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of our lives. Again, we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of our lives. The purpose of a searching and fearless moral inventory is to sort through the confusion and the contradiction of our lives so that we can find out who we really are. Because we are in there. We are that same person that you love. We are that same person that you adore. We're the same person that had it going on. You know what I mean? We just got lost when we got sick. We are starting a new way of life and need to be rid of the burdens and the traps that controlled us and prevented our growth. I'm going to leave that there because that leads to a big conversation. Okay? And I did get stuck on the contradiction of our lives, y'all, because I still can't see, even with the daggone glasses. But anyway, this is what the 4th step is about. For me, making that fearless and moral inventory of myself, what they meant and how I understood it was I had to take a look at the road down my life, starting from when I was just little, everything that I can remember. Whether or not it was something that was said to me, was done to me, that I liked, that I didn't like, whether or not I was around people who fought all the time, or, you know, like parents back then, a lot of our parents fought a lot back then, you know, and I lived in that type of lifestyle, you know, because again, over the years I found out that my father was an alcoholic as well, you know, and thank for these 12 steps, it taught me how to forgive him and love him as my father again. Because as I learned these steps and I become better than what I used to be, I understood him then. Now, I didn't understand him when I was little because he was always, you know, lit, you know what I'm saying? And he done things. So this taking a fearless moral inventory on ourselves is even thinking about, it can be very painful, it can hurt, and you're gonna get a lot of painful things out of it, I believe, more than joyful things. Yeah. You know, when I was little, I got picked on, you know what I mean? Other families had more than I had, you know, and it made me feel like I was the poor person. You know, my mother had 9 children, 10 basically, you know, and she done a marvelous job with every last one of us. But as a kid and wanting things, I could not see that. You know what I mean? I felt like my friends' mothers was better mothers than my mother. You know, today, my mother was a beast. You hear what I'm saying? She was a beast, and I thank her. I thank her, and I love her so much for just doing what she could do with all that she could do. You know, she was a beast. You follow? So those things, that too was something that bothered me because it made me look at my mom different. You know, instead of how today, now that I've become another person, you know, other than that little scorned girl, you know, I can see how she was such a vicious mother, and it's teaching me how to be a vicious mother as well, you know, just to be able to get to understand that. You know, I used to think my siblings was getting more than me, or, you know, those type of things. You know, then, you know, becoming a teenager, you know what I mean? It just went in a pattern. I still, you know, was kind of looked at like, you know, the poor girl, you know? Even when I was looking sharp, you know, that never left. People just mean, You know what I mean? And just said and did mean things, and it made me mean. That's what we call it now. That's society. That little drug called society is vicious, you know. And as a child, you don't understand that because all you're trying to do is fit in. You know, I used to steal and get my clothes. You know, at times, my mother was a seamstress, and so she taught me how to sew. I lived a part of my life like that. I was tailor-made down. I was making all of them, sharp as I don't know what. You know what I'm saying? Then started sewing for people, you know. And then I was living life with the boyfriends that that just wasn't the right boyfriends. You know what I'm saying? And you just wanted to be in, and you wanted to have somebody that was in. This is me. This is me telling my story. You know, I went to church for years and years, never went to church, understood nothing. You know what I mean? I only did things because that's the way my mother lived, and that's what we had to do. So as I'm going on, I had all this pain, and I had all this anger, and I had all this resentment that I didn't even know was there because I bottled most of it up and kept on moving. You know, so it just stayed there. You know, once I got into society, got to smoking weed and got to doing my pills, you know, and hanging out, I started loving society more than I love home. I started loving society more than I actually really love my family, because my family to me was talking a whole bunch of shit about me. That's what I thought, you know, back then, because of my sick mind, because my mind was just bottling up this little ball, you know what I mean? Soon as I started messing with the weed and the drugs, it was just creating that disease, you know what I mean? That was pumping all these things in me, and I would think back on it, it make me say, man, hell with that, I ain't worried about that shit. So I met me friends out in society, you know what I mean? And some of those friends became my family, you know what I mean? And I know today that my family is my family. You know, but back then when I was scorned, my family was my family, but my street families was my peoples. You know? And I got to being out there more with them than to being around family. You follow? It's crazy how this thing happens, and how they taught me to pay attention, to take an inventory on me, to find out what's inside me that hurts me. What's inside of me that could have helped you, you know, become this. Tell me some stories about what bothered you when you was young. This is how they did it. Start from when you was young. And I got to telling these stories, and a whole lot more of my stories, because I'm not going to take up all the time, but a whole lot more of my stories, I got to snobbing and crying. And I ain't no crier. You know, I'm a bad girl. I don't cry, you know. I don't want them people seeing me cry, but you couldn't help it. When that truth start coming out, and those emotions start growing and getting stronger, because the pieces is coming together, you follow what I'm saying? And you're putting the pieces back in this puzzle, man, it becomes easy and simple. And then I trust the people I was telling, because they wasn't telling nobody. Everybody was saying the same thing, doing the same thing just about. You know what I mean? Being touched. I was touched as a child. You know what I'm saying? I fight, you know, to keep them off me. This was a step brother, adopted brother, whichever you want to call it. You know what I mean? And it was a horrible life. It was crazy, and I had to live under fear, and I had to live under anger, and wasn't being believed by who I wanted to be believed by. You know what I mean? And that just made me angry and more angry and more angrier. You know, so everything that's been in you and that has been a problem for you, and we just buried it as we came up, and as we just started living and doing the things that we do, was just a ball. Just a ball, just waiting to just, you know how the devil's ball come out, the little fire poof, you know what I'm saying? And it hits you when you start doing the drugs and you start doing the alcohol, you know what I mean? And you get angry because you can't erase it from the mind. It just lays there, you know, in the between the mind and the heart and the emotions, and it hurts. You follow? It becomes pain, it becomes anger, it becomes resentment. You know, so then you know, with the 12 steps, and when they said you got to take a moral inventory on my life, I started understanding what that meant. And as I started digging deep, you know, from the toenail to the tip of this hair right here that's blonde now, to the tip of it, and I still do it to this day, because there's so much more that's in there that I haven't even got to yet. You follow? So you got to continue to work on this all the time. You know what I mean? And you're going to feel it emotionally when it's needed. You know? So don't think when you're doing the 12 steps, you just read this once as we going along in here. No, this is consistently. This is consistently all the time. If you feeling bad or you feeling happy or you just sitting around just and pop, you just say, I'm gonna read 12 steps. You know, so this thing can always have the lock and key to this sickness. So again, taking more inventory on yourself is the best thing. Some people don't want to do that because of all these reasons, the pain, the hurt, the embarrassment, you know what I mean? Don't think that it's necessary or they don't have to do it. Because for some of this, you know, is in other professions. Some of us have to go to psych. You know, you'll learn these things in these places, and there's nothing wrong with either one. Or, you know, if you're using the drugs and alcohol to go to the rehabs, you know, these are the places for you that you can get the proper information, education, and medication for this vicious disease. I'm going to do the Q&A for y'all today. You know what I mean? And hopefully, because people are asking me questions through the messages that you all are sending me. And again, I tell y'all, please have patience with me because I'm getting this thing, but I'm a master this. You know, this has become a challenge to me now, and I'm a master this thing. You know, and it's going to get greater and greater and greater. So today, again, I decided to bring on another person who has a lot of experience in our world. You know, I'm gonna let her tell you a little bit about her story, you know, because I want you guys to come on and share. I want you guys to share your strength and hopes. I want you guys to come on and say how far I come from this. You know what I mean? All of this helps us. You know, when anybody, you know, come in here and share whatever. I don't care what it is. Even if it's not your drug and alcohol problem. It could be your gambling problem. It could be your cigarette smoking problem. It could be whatever the problem, your man problem. I don't care what it is, or your woman problem, you know, because those are addictive too. You know what I'm saying? So anything that is your addiction, I want you guys to, you know, feel comfortable that you can share this thing and know that you're not alone. You know what I mean? And all of us can help each other. So I'm going to bring Angie on for a minute and let Angie give you some of what she has, you know, testimony and everything about this disease.
Hi, everyone. Just to start that, to say that I am not in recovery, but I've been through this situation with my sister. And my sister, may she rest in peace, is no longer here. But a lot of people know me, know my family, know my sister Maureen and her drug addiction. And it was very severe and devastating to my family. This was like 25 years ago when I didn't really understand addiction because I'd never been around it. It was new to me. I'm like, just stop. Just stop getting high. I didn't understand it. So I went to my dear friend, sister friend, who, you know, she's always been there and I've always looked up to her. Never disowned her, just was always there for her when I could be. And she taught me so much about addiction and how it works. I learned from the street sense of it, whereas going to get my sister, getting phone calls late at night, finding my sister in alleys, trap houses, getting calls stating that she's in this field, she's here, there, everywhere. And when you love your family members, you're going to do whatever you can to go and get them, to assist them, to get them out of trouble, because that's the love you have for them. And once Trey actually told me, you know, and set me down and explained everything, taught me, had me read things about this disease of addiction, going to Al-Anon, going to meetings, trying to understand it. And it was like, it was just puzzling to me because I had to find a way to help my sister. I had to educate my family in reference to this disease of addiction. And it was very rough. It was hard. It was hard for us, you know, but that wasn't enough for me. I'm a person that my mind is always going, I need to know everything fully about this disease of addiction. So I went back to school to get education to learn more about it. And this field has been so traumatizing and devastating, just learning the full circle of it, that, it had me change my profession. I am an alcohol and drug addictions counselor, and I have been one for over 25 years now because of Tracy and her educating me, and I just needed more and more and more trying to help my sister. In the meantime, getting my sister into rehab after rehab. It was a process with my family, with her addiction. When you're in addiction, you just become somebody that nobody knows, but you don't want to give up on your family members. So as I'm being there for my sister, all my sisters, my brother, my mom was one of my sister's big enablers. My mom always gave her everything, did everything, to appease her in every way she could. And my sister, God rest her soul, would rob my mom blind of everything.
That's
and
what we do.
My mom, don't mess with her. Leave my child alone. Leave my child alone. Y'all don't understand. And trying to teach my mom about the disease of addiction, no matter what, my mother was going to protect her child no matter what, because that's the type of mom my mom was. She made sure she was all right all the time. She ate. Whenever she come in 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, whenever she came around, my mother was always there to provide for her. And so were the rest of us, we tried to, we buy her food and clothes and things that she needed. We never turned our backs on our sister because we loved our sister. Never did. Never
But
did.
that's something, let me cut in on it. That's something that is powerful, because a lot of us, which my back was never turned toward either, only with certain people and friends and certain family members. But my mom was always there, my sister and brothers. But some families do turn their backs, because they can't deal with that. You know what I mean? You steadily stealing. You know how, that was with y'all.
Yep.
You know what I mean? What about your mom's fur coat?
Yeah.
The fur coat.
True story, short story. I had bought my mom a fur coat. She always wanted this fur coat. So I bought her a fur coat. One Sunday, my mom wanted to wear her coat to church with the other ladies at her church who wore their little fur coats and went to church, really cute. So I came past my mom's house one Sunday after church, and I saw my mom with this fake fur coat on. And I'm like, Mom, where's your coat? And she just gave me a look, and automatically I knew. My mother didn't want to tell us, but my mom was hurt. So these are some of the things
that was funny. It's funny now, but we couldn't laugh at it then.
Yeah.
But this is how the conscious mind of sickness, that devilish disease, talks to us. We don't care about that's being mom coat. We don't care about mom's pocketbook over there. We don't care about all mom's fine china over there, because mom was the biggest enabler ever.
Yes.
You follow? So this is when I was saying, and I believe it was episode 2 or 3, that we can also be enablers to our loved ones just as much, you know what I mean, as being a part of allowing them to do what they do. You follow? Unknowingly that's what we do, because see, the emotional part of love distracts that. It stands in front of all of what they're doing, you know what I mean? Because you love them so much and you don't want them to go out there and get hurt, until sometimes it can switch. And it's so much that's going on, for the family to set from, us as active addicts. And then we get so angry. Here's an emotion again. We get so angry, and then we put them out. They can't come here no more. You know what I mean? You give up. You're not going to help them no more. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. We say bad things like, well, go on out there and die then. You know what I mean? Somebody going to hurt your butt. Somebody going to kill you. You out here doing all this and doing all that, which everything you're saying is true.
Yep.
Everything you're saying is true. But in our minds, you're offending us. You're becoming the enemy. You know what I'm saying? To the point where, we're going to be like, well, I then F you then. You know what I mean? You ain't got to do shit for me. I ain't got to come around this shit. And I ain't still lying, because we walking liars, living liars, going to always, be liars in our active addiction. And we can't do anything but lie. So we're going to be like, and I ain't take your shit no way. We're going to defend that. We're going to still say we didn't do it.
Yep.
Y'all just turned, y'all make, who else was over here? Who else was over here? We were saying stuff like that. Who, was that her?
Yes.
Who else was over here? I wasn't in
So-and-so was in this
house.
house.
I didn't do it. They still. You know what I mean? Knowing all the truth that we have to actually learn how to set us free. And we ain't nowhere near that yet because we don't have a clue. All we have is the subconscious mind called addiction controlling everything we say and everything we do. You understand what I'm saying? And you know, I'm just bringing on some people who has lived this with someone, you know, that was they loved, that was close to. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, Angie lost her sister. You know, and she was getting clean. You know what I mean? But sometimes the drugs do so much to us that and our internal side, what I was telling everybody. So be aware to all the functional addicts and alcoholics. This is why I bring this up all the time, because see, whether or not we were out there doing what we were doing out in the street, you still doing the same drugs that we do. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how much of it. It doesn't matter how long, you know, you did it for the week or it was for the weekend. You know what I mean? Dope is dope and alcohol is alcohol. You know, and it does the same thing to you that it does to us. You know, it's just that in us, we're a different person than you. I'm different than you, Angie. I was different than Maureen. You know what I mean? But me and Maureen share the same disease. We met up a few times. You follow what I'm saying? But, you know, about time, you know, I had fortunately and been blessed to go to rehab and have myself taken care of by choice. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And I miss her. I really do. Everybody does. I know everybody do, because she was the life of the party. I don't care where she was. You know what I mean? But under the influence, she was your worst enemy. Yes. Under the influence, you didn't even know her. Y'all didn't even know her. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, for as long as she's on that run, as long as we're on that run out there, you know, we have no control of ourselves. We don't see nothing. We don't hear nothing. We don't do nothing. But what the conscious mind and the pain in the body tells us to do is fix me now. Y'all ever see Little Shop of Horror? That's one of my stories I tell all the time. Remember how when the plant was sitting real pretty on the little stand and everybody's like, oh, pretty. So Seymour bought the plant. So when he found out that the plant fed off blood, you know, he has to stick the blood. And then when he couldn't stick his hands no more because he done drained all himself with his blood or he was going to die, the plant got mad. The plant grew so big it became a monster. That's how our brains do. It becomes this big monster. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta feed me now. And you know, the plant said, feed me, Seymour. And Seymour said, I can't do it no more. He tried to eat Seymour. You know what I mean? Then he ate everybody that was around that it can get because it got craving crazy. You know what I mean? Because it had to be fed. It had to be fed that blood. You know what I mean? And that's just how our minds be when we out there. We gotta have a drink. We gotta have dope. You know? And the different effects from how the different drugs make us be. Drinking, you can sit down and drink all day, but drugs, you're gonna rip and run, still do everything that you could possibly do. It's certain, like a symptom. It's certain symptoms that it gives you. You know what I mean? And the different types of drugs that's out here now is in the alcohol. You know, Ciroc. What's that other stuff called? All these crazy names. You know what I mean? All the stuff that didn't get you as drunk now get you more drunk than you ever got drunk. They change everything, just like the drugs. I was saying in the introduction, drugs are changed all the time in different generations. You know what I mean? You come up with a cute name. Oh, we're gonna call this Shalala Pampain. Shalala Pampain gonna kill you. I don't care what name they put on it. You understand? It's going to do the same thing that all this other alcohol and poison that you have been drinking that has been toxically tearing the insides of us up without even allow us to feel it. We don't even feel that it's ruining us inside. We only feel the mental part of the good that we think. It reverses. It makes you think you feel good and take you out of your element where you don't even have control. You get so drunk that you just fall out or die.
Yeah, or the drugs that they are getting today, hearing from different clients saying that they don't even get them high. If it
No,
doesn't
it
get
did
them high,
not. It's a second. It's a
killing
second.
them. Yeah.
Watch
It's not as
Kensington,
effective.
y'all. Watch some of them episodes on here, living in Kensington. It is awful. It shows you so much. And if we are addicts that is watching this and we're in recovery, we need to share more to other suffering addicts so that we can help them and help these families. We live through all of this. So we need to and that's just me. You know what I'm saying? But I feel as though we need to share these things and share these stories and try to help the families, try to understand and help their loved ones, or have the patience to pray for them. You know what I mean? And understand that you have no control over what they're doing, no matter what you've done for them. You follow what I'm saying? And when it's a relapse that's involved, like I said, it takes you back to where you left off in your active addiction. And I want to make this perfectly clear from what I said last segment too. So does recovery. You follow? If you go back to where you to recovery, it's going to take you back to where you left off. And I just don't believe in saying that I lost those days. You know what I mean? That is a cushion for me to hit right back on. It puts my link right back in the puzzle. Bing! That's how I see it. You know what I mean? Because when people relapse, people feel bad, and it makes them feel 15 times as bad for relapsing.
Yes.
Words are vicious. For relapsing, you know what I mean? And instead of using, they be stuck on, man, I relapsed. Well, I lost all my time. Well, I'm encouraging in this way. I feel as though those are the most precious times and days in your life. And in order to get a day clean, it starts with a minute, then it becomes, a second, then it becomes a minute becomes an hour becomes a day, and a day becomes a week becomes a month, and a month becomes a year. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a long process before you can get this thing where it needs to be. But one day at a time, starting with your second, is the most beautiful, encouraging. Give me some words.
That is just, it's true what you're saying. It's so true. Because Sunday before last, I got a phone call from my cousin telling me that he had relapsed and he wanted to commit suicide. He was so disappointed with himself because he's been clean so many years.
There you go.
And I'm so glad he called me, and I'm like, where you at? I ran to him right away.
There you
I'm
go.
like, don't feel bad because God has given you another chance to get it right.
Absolutely.
Don't beat yourself down. Let me take you, get you the help that you need, and get you where you need to be. And that's exactly what I did.
Was he willing?
Very willing.
Did he go?
And he went.
Where is he at now?
In rehab.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. In the big book, it says that, we are most likely due a relapse. Some of us read that and get that wrong. Nah, the book said that we can relapse one time. No, that's not what the book is saying. The book is saying that it is possible that we can relapse because this disease is cunning, baffling, and powerful. And this disease is always going to be there in you, like I told you, like a double head.
Yep. Yes, it will.
And one's going to be, he's just going to be waiting. He's just going to be lingering for any reason. Any reason you allow them to. This is why I'm saying, when you read these steps and you learn these steps, don't put it down. You're going to have to always remind yourself of what every step is saying, and taking moral inventory is going to be one of the biggest pieces of this, because you have to bring all this stuff in you out. These hurts, these pains, these disappointments, you know what I mean? And surrender to them. Know that they were real. Get a proper care. If it's a psychologist that you need, I'm going to continue to say that. You know what I mean? Or you need to go away. You follow what I'm saying? Because, again, I'm not none of that. Doctor, lawyer, Indian chief. You know what I mean? I'm just sharing my strengths and hopes, because I had to see a psychologist. And I still see a psychologist today. I see my psychologist for almost anything. Almost anything. Even though I feel like I'm Optimus Prime. You understand? I'm a beast when it comes to this disease. You know what I mean? But that inner me, that inner stuff and stuff people try to bring to me and break my peace. You know what I mean? Don't even know they breaking my peace. You know what I'm saying? Getting in my world with all this bad energy. You understand? You know, and they think they right all the time, you know, because I know I'm a person that, you know, I stand by me. I stand by me, but if it's the truth, I can surrender by me too. You understand? I can surrender by me too. You know, so that's where, you know, that inventory is always going to be the step that I'm going to be on, because some things I just don't agree with. And I don't have to agree with anything. But what I have to be aware of is, I know if you keep bringing something at me or something that's happening around me that's not supposed to be happening, and I don't wish for it to be in my circle of my life, I got to keep reading my medication, because I know my disease is not only my drug addiction. My disease is changing my thinking and how I think about things, to learn how to make changes, to think differently or handle a situation differently. Now, I don't know if y'all caught all of that, but I told you, I get the rambling, I just get the rambling. You know what I mean? But I know my words make damn good sense. You follow? Because that's the way God just brings things out of me, and this is the way I know how to explain it. You know, I'm not going to sit up here and try to be Oprah, you know, or nobody like that. I'm going to be Tracy. I'm going to be Tracy, a grateful, recovering addict, who is trying to give her strength and hopes to other people just like me to get their lives better. So step 4 is big for me, very big for me, you know, and I have to always stay on, you know, changing my fearless more inventories, you know, to really help keep my sanity going, because I got to keep up with me. If nobody else is, I do. You know, and I'm not always right, like I said, and I still got growth and learning to do. You know what I mean? But what I can't do is carry weight. We cannot carry weight. We cannot give disease, that's for me, any way to creep in and try to throw me off to the left. You know what I mean? Because I'm one that wants to stay to the right. You know what I mean? And keep this thing balanced so I can keep my disease and sickness in remission. And that's just how it works. Because I know I'm going to live with this girl. I told y'all her name is Trey Trey. And all who wasn't on here, I'm going to introduce you to her. Trey Trey is my sickness. Trey Trey is my disease. And again, Trey Trey right now, I can see her word, who she is, clear as day. And that's DISEASE. But in my active addiction, she was split up. She took my mind and she took my emotions and she separated them from me. This is why she had the control of me. You know what I mean? And that's DIS/EASE. You follow? You know, anybody who's a user, anybody who's a recovering person can feel what I'm saying right now. And I hope, even if you're not a user or a recovering person, just being a person, a human of yourself. You know what I mean? It allows you to say, you know, if this cigarette smoking is this, you know, this is cigarette smoking. You know what I mean? But then you can put cigarette/smoking. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the disease is, whatever your addiction is, you know? So I have ways that I try to put things so we can see it a little bit clearer. Now, some may not see what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And it's okay, because as we go along, like I said, the pieces to your puzzle is what you put together. You know what I mean? This is how I put mine together.
But even if you're not in addiction, you still should need to take an inventory of yourself, just to be a better you.
That's right.
Be a better person in life.
To be the ones who don't use. You can take an inventory on you with the person that you have as an active user, and just think about some things, because we're offering this information to tell you how we think. You know, I think, you know, as an addict, you can come up with some things that you may have done to this person, or how you know more things, a lot of things about this person. You know what their story is, you know, and where and how this happened, that you've seen how it happened in your eyes. You have to look at the person, you know what I mean, and to understand their sickness.
Yes.
In order to have patience and not let them go. If I don't mean like bring them back in your house or anything like that, because if they don't want to come, they're not coming. Or force them to go to a rehab, or, you know, to psych or anything. That sometimes, you know, on times when we so blitzed out, especially with these drugs today, man, this thing today is just like, oh God. You know, I see so much today. It has my head spinning. It has my head spinning just being in the field. You know what I mean? Like today, I could look at a person and tell they get high. I can see it right now. You know what I mean? I can smell a person, and I know what the smell is. You know, and you can pinpoint it right off. And they could be looking just as normal or out in the club or the bar having all that fun, lit, out of control. Out of control. That's why you see all those fights in the bars and the guns, because nobody has control. Nobody has control. Your words become blurred and you think they sound clear as I don't know what. You know what I mean? You think your mind is on and you're not as high as this person and you're just as lit as the person damn near sitting next to you.
Yep,
you follow what I'm saying? I watched it. You know, when I was trying to drink, man, I was like, this thing is crazy. I felt it. I know. You know, and it's not really funny, but it's funny. You know, when you out having fun, I'm not saying everybody loses control, because everybody doesn't in a certain era of this. But when you're high and you're taking something that's changing, it's right. Mm-hmm. Your move that is mind altering. Mm-hmm. It just not beating you up like it's beating up the person over there that's with their head nodded out on the bar, mm-hmm. or the ones that's getting rowdy and want to fight. This mm-hmm. is what people think when they feel like they're functional, you know, addicts or alcoholics, and you can control it, which is fine if that's for you. I'm not telling everybody that they're addicts and alcoholic. I'm just warning the ones to beware and offering you a little information to allow you to see that, I mean, if what you need the drugs for, what you need the alcohol for. Mm-hmm. Hell, I live today, I don't need neither one, and I have a ball, a great time, and I don't care what the situation is. You follow? Before, I depended on it. So dependence is dependence. No matter how, when, or where, or why, you're dependent on it.
So many people,
you know, so that's just a little FYI. That's all, you know, because people feel like, oh, she said, I don't get drunk like that. I don't do that. But you get high. You drink for what reason? Mm-hmm. Ask yourself that. Take a moral inventory on yourself and dig deep and get honest and get the truth. And whatever you come up with is going to be what you come up with.
And let
you
that
know?
Truth be the thing that sets you free.
Say it again.
Because let that truth be the thing that sets you free, because a lot of people think that it's okay, I can drink every day and come home and drink beers and liquor every day and don't think that they have a problem. And for me, there's no such thing as a functioning addict.
But you know what? People that come home and drink every day and party every day and still partying to this day, reason why they party because their body is greeting for whatever you've been drinking. Yep. It's greeting forever what you've been partying off of. Yep. And if you have to do this and you can stop because you get sick, but after you well, you go right back to drinking, something's wrong.
Or can you stop?
Or can you? Or can you? You got to take the inventory on yourself. You got to take that inventory on yourself and ask yourself that question. Mm-hmm. Like, why am I doing this? You know what I mean? Is this what I have to do to have fun? You know?
Or to function.
Or to function. Period. Some people got to drink to even go to work. Mm-hmm. Some people got to drink to be a mother. Some people got to drink just to be home, drinking, watching Young and the Restless. You follow what I'm saying? Because there's plenty get high on TV. I had to say that too. There's plenty of all this everywhere. You know what I mean? You can't even go in the market and not find alcohol now. You follow? Beers, everything. All of it everywhere. They just put it everywhere for us. Even for people who are addicted to gambling. You can sit home in your house, in your car. I don't care where it is. They make it convenient. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? For it to be right there for you. Crack houses ain't going nowhere. State stores ain't going nowhere. You know, dealers ain't going nowhere. You know, everything that's out there in that wicked, bloody, disease society is going to always be out there because it was placed out there for a reason. And the reason is for us to get out there and get stuck. You follow? This is why I love sharing about this. You know, because there's so much that connects the dots to the puzzle. It's unbelievable. And I'm still learning all the pieces that are still disconnected up there. You know what I mean? And I'm getting wiser and I'm getting brighter and I'm getting better on my choices and decisions to like, why did I have to have that thing? Mm-hmm. You know, why did I get high? Because I was living in another world. Yep. I was living in another place than living in me. in who God put me here for. You know, I got trapped in the hole I was telling y'all about. And every time I went out the door, because this is the people I surround myself, these are the places I surround myself, and these are the things I surround myself to do. I would walk in that dark hole. But today I learned how to walk around the hole that connect me to get through the tunnel, and I got through the storm of that, and now I'm out the door of the tunnel, and now I'm living, and I'm living good, and I understand that I do not need to be high, drink a drug, or be out there with this nonsense.
That's because you change your people, your
Say it again.
places,
Say it
and
again.
your things.
That's exactly what it is.
That's
The
what
hole, the entrance of the tunnel, and then the storm, you know, and then coming out of the storm. I'd rather stay out of this storm, and I'm going to fight today to remain out of the storm. And when we say people, places, and things, that means with nonsense from people. That means with disturbance from people. That means with the people that I know. And it could be your loved ones. It could be anybody. It could be your best friend. It could be your little sister. It could be your big brother. It could be your mom. It could be Aunt Jenny from down south. It could be anybody. Sometimes you have to make the choice and decision to know what you need.
Exactly.
And what's not good for you.
And sometimes it hurts because when it hits home, that's when it really hurts. Because a lot of people have to separate themselves from their families because they've been ridiculed and denied and hurt by them. And it's okay. If that's going to give you peace of mind, it's okay to love somebody from a distance. It's really okay.
And this is what people do far as like on the family tip. You know, they told me this in NA meetings, in the AA meetings. I heard people share, basically. They shared a lot of it. They said, get prepared. They said, because your history is going to become one of your worst weapons to get in the way of you trying to maintain your life back with your, you know, with your children, you know, and it started happening to me after a while. All I kept hearing sometimes was, well, Trey, if I said something to the kids or I did something, you know what I mean? Because when I went to NA and AA, I got just as scorned from being away from the kids than I did being out there on the street. You know, it was like, damn, one or the other. You know, which way? You know, I got to go here because this is helping me. This is feeding me. I got to make my meetings. You know what I mean? Then I was being told I was making too many damn meetings.
There's no such thing as too many.
But they didn't know.
Yeah.
They didn't understand that. Still don't understand a lot of this. You follow what I'm saying? Over the years that I've been clean. Still some think it's all over with, you know. For me, no indeed not. No indeed not. So it was damn if I do, damn if I don't. You know, I was going to meetings crazy because I had to. And that I was getting positive, everything from the meetings. It was helping me. You know, it was putting me back in where I need to be. Matter of fact, it put me back over where I need to be. It has given me so much joy and so much understanding to be drug-free and to know that I have a disease that's cunning, baffling, and powerful, and I'm still able to live and live with what I used to do to make me stronger so I can't do it anymore. You understand what I'm saying? And to respect the life of an addict and a user and an alcoholic. You understand what I'm saying? And know that I have empathy and sympathy and care and concern for them, you know, because this is what they don't get. This is what makes them ill. It makes them sicker. Believe it or not, it made me sicker for people to look at me and talk shit. And if, you know, being booted out, you can't go to people's houses and all that shit. People saying what you was, what you used to be, and all that stuff. And it would crush me. It would tear me up. And my disease, you know, is my other head, sitting right there, just taking in all the wrong energy, taking in all the wrong emotions. You know what I mean? Just putting a lock right back on my emotions again so I can't see DISEASE. It was trying to keep me DIS/EASE. You understand what I'm saying?
That's that devil.
You know? But then guess what? Them steps, them 12 steps, and having that sponsor, hey, I knew what to do.
Exactly.
I knew what to do. I knew I had to put myself around the recovering people. I knew I had to put myself back around people who understood me and how this worked, that can give me some proper medication that I needed because the disease was beating me down. You know what I mean? It was winning. It was taking my emotions and it was making me angry. And I recognized it, but if I didn't do anything about it, it would have took me.
Exactly. Yep.
So this is why I'm saying this is our medication. And then it gets me to thinking like, no, you can't. Taking that inventory. Taking that inventory on myself. You know, if you let this do this,
you know what the end result.
You know what the result's gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
You follow. So, do what you know you're supposed to do. Take a Tylenol. That's what the 12 steps is. You know, I might say Tylenol, Motrin, whatever. Take some medicine. Take a Tylenol. You got a headache. You know, call somebody. And then sometimes it don't even have to be my sponsor. I can call my friend. I can call my sister. You know what I mean? With my mom, I can call my mom. You know, I can call a person who knows me and is closest to me. You know, that I have trust in, that I can share with.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't gonna be everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I learned how to use that as well.
Mm-hmm. And I have people who constantly, you know, who still call me when they're in trouble. You know, that I have to, you know, I'll talk to, you know, just to give them what they need, because when somebody calls you, just be in that listening ear. Sometimes people just want you to just listen. Just be that listening ear, so that they'll be able to make it through that day. Mm-hmm. You got to be there. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm always talking to somebody. My daughter always saying when we out, Mom, you know that person's talking to? I said, no. I said, sometimes people just need people to talk to, just to listen. So we be at the mall. I'll be listening to people. I talk to people. I said, I must have a sign written on my forehead sometimes, because I'm like, people just come up and just talk to me. I guess I look like I'm easy to talk to, and I listen. And sometimes just listen to that person. You could save that person's life. You don't know what a person is going through at any given time. You don't know. People go through things, and they just need that listening ear. Be that listening ear for that person, because you could save a life. That's just how it goes. And another thing, when Trey talked about, you know, going to meeting after meeting after meeting, it is said that meeting makers make it.
Absolutely.
And I believe that. I go to meetings a lot of times. I go to different ones. I'm just always curious to see what's going on today. Always to stay abreast of everything. And, you know, I'll be doing this drug and alcohol counseling for the rest of my life, because I always want to help save somebody. If I could save one person, I am satisfied.
Go ahead.
And God is happy with me. I enjoy being in this field. I've learned a lot over the years, even through losing my sister, getting her to go to rehabs. It meant a whole lot just to get her there. So I'm not going to stop just because of my loss. I may be able to save somebody else's family member, so I'll always be in this field all my life, because that's what I do. Thanks to Trey educating me and bringing me in this field. Even she's even gotten me my first job in this field. She got me my first job in this field when I changed fields that I was in.
I can't get so.
That's just how this disease of addiction is serious. I take it very serious. And when you lose a loved one, you know, the after effects of the disease of the addiction over the years, it's still heartbreaking, but this is what I do, and I'm going to always do this. That's what
I'm going to say this on that part, Angie. You know, the blessing of you choosing this field is because of the heartfelt you had and the pain and what you suffered from having a loved one. You know, just the same. All I did, again, with you, too. I only offered you information and education, you know what I mean? And you chose that yourself. You know, because you was on a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? My girl, shoot, my sister used to tell me all the time, girl, you need to go get your degree. I used to be like, girl, I ain't going back to no school. I'm not doing that. Give me the video. I learned from the video what I need to know. You know what I'm saying? As I do today, y'all. You know, they say, well, what degrees you had? I said, I got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, addict. Junkie. Anything else I need to add on? Walk the walk, so I talk the talk, you know? So for me, that I wish I would have done it, you know, financially wise, I do, you know what I mean? But what I have to offer them is real. What I have to offer my sisters and brothers in the world is real. And it comes straight from the heart, no matter how it comes out. You know what I mean? I don't fake it to make it, you know what I mean? Or act like I'm this or act like I'm that. I'm just living the life of a recovering addict today. And I can share my story about the active addict that I was yesterday. You follow? So that's my degree. you know. So it doesn't bother me to have all that, but I'm so proud of all of everybody that gets them and does that. Like my girl said, I'm going to go get my associate. Bam, she went and did it. Then she said, I'm going to go get my bachelor's. Bam, she did that too. Then she said, I'm going to go get the master's. Bam, damn it, she didn't do it. You know, which is well needed in our field, you know, of working in drug and alcohol, mental health. Angie worked, what is it, mental health, drug and alcohol, you know, behavior health, you know, and all of that. And a lot of that over the years, I just learned through being there and being educated by the ones that have I stutter sometimes, y'all, through medication. So just hold on, you know, with that too. But I want to add that, you guys, if you had any questions, I'm going to pick up this thing. This might be old school, but this is the only way I know how to do it. So if you have any questions that you want to ask, you know, at this time, you can bring your questions on. I'm going to try to answer all of what I can. But is anybody hearing anything today? Let me see some hearts over there, though. Why ain't it coming on here? Oh, here it is. It keeps going on. Okay, I have the questions up now. I mean, I have the y'all. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. All right. So, is there any questions that need to be asked? And you can read it to me. So until I start seeing questions, I'm still going to talk a little bit more about, tell me if you see questions. Okay. Yeah. So, again, taking more inventory on self. Everybody needs to do that on their selves, whether or not it's a drug addiction or alcohol addiction, or just because, you know, you need to just keep knowing and keep in control of your emotions and your thinking, you know what I'm saying? And things that bother you so deeply that can take you to another zone. You know, I'm glad that I learned that to take a more inventory on myself because, again, even though I'm not using today, I still have to do it. You know what I mean? Because it just makes sense to me, you know, to check on yourself sometimes. You know what I mean? It's okay to talk to yourself, you know. Yeah, just don't let it be the nutball conscience. You know, we all got one, you know, and then we all sit around sometimes and act like nothing's going on at all. You know what I mean? On the outside, that's the mask. But on the inside is where the adventure is, you know, and you all over the place. You know what I mean? With a smile on your face and dressed real cute and looking real sharp, you know what I mean? And feeling horrible. You know what I mean? Once you come out of the world of society, we call society, you know what I mean? And get into your own, at your own pace in your own time, even if it's laying in your bed or you could be watching a movie or something. You know what I mean? You know, take that inventory on yourself sometimes and see where you are, you know, see what's in the way. You know, nobody's perfect. You follow? You know, maybe it could teach you how not to judge people or look at people and, you know what I mean? You know, just talk shit all the time. You know? I'm not saying, you know, we're not supposed to have fun and we're not supposed to go out, you know.
It's how you do it.
What is that saying?
Nothing.
Outside not matching. Then that's right, Jack. Outside ain't matching the inside. They wearing all the masks. You know what I mean? And one thing I do know, recovery taught me how to unmask myself. I definitely learned how to unmask myself, and still is, because sometimes I you know, I'm really working hard on when somebody get on my nerves and they make me mad. You know what I mean? And you might love them, you might dig them like that. And you don't want to hurt their feelings, you know, because you know where it's gonna go. You follow what I'm saying? I know Trey still exists, and Trey is still Trey. You know what I'm saying? Trey don't give a shit. You follow? But Tracy knows how to think things over. She knows how to think things through. She knows how to cut something off and say, you know what? All right.
That's what it's about, learning how to think differently.
She walks
Cognitive
away.
behavior therapy.
Exactly. Say it again. They call it
cognitive behavior therapy, how to think differently.
Exactly.
When you think differently, you'll act differently, and you'll do things differently.
And that's like a program they have in rehabs and stuff. Everything about the rehab is not bad. The rehabs are built to help you too. You know what I mean? But again, today is a whole nother world. Change is constant. There's nothing constant but change. You know what I mean? And everything is about the ching. A dozen of eggs cost me $12 a day with 2 dozens in it. I almost had a fit. You follow? A dozen of eggs could have bought me some Fruit Loops, some milk. I mean, $13. Fruit Loops, some milks, a dozen of eggs, and some pancake mix. You know, all I can get was 2 dozen of freaking eggs. So everything in the world has changed. You know, I can't go buy me a pair of little socks for $1 at the dollar store no more. They done had it 50 cents. You follow? So change is constant. And we have to constantly be on our thinking, on our grind. You know what I mean? To live our lives one day at a time that God offers all of us. You know what I mean? And have a great life. You know, and again, you know, I go to events and what time is it? And clubs, 7, 8. Events and clubs, and I have a good time, and I know what I can do and know what I can't do, you know. But do I go now? Oh, nah. I really don't go too much anymore, because when I'm having that same fun at home or over a friend's house or somewhere else, you know what I mean? That's a positive, the movie, girls trip, nights out, couple trips, you know what I mean? Recovery trips, you know what I mean? My world is surrounded by the jewels that I need, and the medication, it will always be there with me, you know, and I hold it within my whole body, you know, and soul, you know what I mean? So when I need to dig in and take a Tylenol, I'm able to do that. You follow what I'm saying? No matter where that I'm at, and that is to use my medication, which are the 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous. I was trying to get some Q&As that I just found out what that was. Don't laugh, y'all, but I'm getting there. You know what I mean? I still can't seem to catch it so that I can read it. So today, I got my daughter down here that's going to ask me the question.
It's nothing like it used to be back in the day.
Absolutely not. That's a good one. And let me tell y'all something. I mentioned that on my introduction. Go back to the beginning. I also mentioned it through the segments. You know what I'm saying? It's just not the same. You know, they took the structures out. The behaviors are just out of control. You know, and it's really nothing as a staff that we can really do, because they put rules in with it, and they are good, because we're dealing now with mental health. You know, psych, you know, and all these type of things. So it's the dual diagnosed thing through it. You know what I mean? Yes. But when it's coming raw off of this live, I can say what I want to say. And I can say how I want to say it, you know, and I can speak the piece just like the piece should be spoken. You follow? I'm not down in anything when it comes to the help in these places, because I am part of the help in these places, and I've been part of the help in these places for 30-something years. You follow? And that's what I do. That's what I love. And I am just like them, and I care, and I have concern, and I love when I see people get better. You know, absolutely. I love it, because I know it's possible. I know that we can, you know, but I see some people that get clean and they don't change their thinking. You know what I'm saying? So that's like living in a trap. You know what I'm saying? That's just like living in a trap. Like, you know, you trying to I got this, you know. Oh, please. Change is constant. There's nothing constant but change. And change in your thinking is going to keep you on the straight and the narrow. I will say that again, but you have to know that this is what's needed to be done when you're suffering with this sickness of drugs and alcohol. So again, I hope, you know, y'all enjoy Angie. You appreciate her telling her story. You know what I mean? Which is probably a whole lot more to tell, but you know we can't do but so much on an hour. You know what I mean? I want other people who are willing to come and speak, you know, and have conversation. We can get on that couch. You know what I'm saying? I could fit at least 5 people on there. You know, and I'm going to get more into this technology and get the proper things that I need for this, because, I mean, like, this thing is really, 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 really doing a big a thing to me. You know, I'm thrilled. I'm excited. You know, you guys come on. You know, some of y'all came on before I even put the live on. I'm sitting here trying to be my own technician with this thing. But thank you. I hope we shared enough and said enough for you to hear something. Taking more inventory is a must. It's great. You know what I mean? It's a cleanser. You know what I'm saying? It will help you to learn how to get your truths out, you know, from the pain of your truths, and be able to live with this as being with being knowledgeable of it and how this sickness works, you know, inside us. So for everybody who's on, thank you so very much. Share it on your what is it, post? Share it on your post. We've been getting great views, great views. I'm just so
great feedback.
Oh God, the feedback is outrageous. You know what I mean? So I know that this is going to work, and I know that it works for all who comes on this live and who watch this live, you know, and I hope more and more people can join. So until step 5, which is next Wednesday at 7:00 live, you know, hopefully I'll have this thing better and down again. But guess what? I'm going to get the words out, and we're going to talk this talk, okay, until we walk the walk. You understand? Technology or no technology, I'm going to make it work. Even I got to go ghetto with 3-4 different phones trying to get everything that I need to be done, okay, because it's God's will. All right, so thank you very much. I'll wait, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm not going to turn this off until people finish sending their love and their messages. Show me hearts, because I do love you, and I hope that I can help you. I really do. All right, so see you until next Wednesday.
Bye-bye.